Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Black Cats TV with me and Conrad. How you doing, Conrad?
I'm good, thank you. Have we got the Coventry badge over here?
Yes, it's there. You're there, touching it. You're touching it. Knock it away. There we go. So Coventry is who we're playing, obviously, by the badge you saw there. I think last time we previewed Coventry, didn't we have a Coventry fan on? I think we did for Coventry. I'm sure we did.
Might have been. I don't know if that was when we were on Fan TV, potentially.
That was bitter. That was 2-0 up, and then it was a draw in the end. Wasn't
comfortably
a great game.
2-0 up. Two screamers in the first half from Isidore and Sirkin as well.
But it seems to be a common theme. You said, when's the last time we beat them?
2007, the last time we beat them in any competition. But
how many times is that though? How many games is that?
How many games since then? You say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this will be the 10th. This is the 10th fixture we've played since that game. So the last time we beat them was 3rd of February 2007. We won 2-0 at Stadium of Light. Would you like to know the team that lined up in that game?
Go on then.
It was Darren Ward in goal, Danny Collins, Stan Varga, Carlos Edwards, and Nyron Nosworthy in defence. Yeah, I love Nosworthy. Midfield of Grant Ledbetter, Ross Wallace, Dean Whitehead, and then a front three, unheard of these days, to have three up top, of Stern John, Daryl Murphy, and Dwight York, even though I probably think Dwight York was actually playing in midfield for us.
More of a number 10 there, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So that was the lineup the last time we beat them. Goals from Dwight York, a header, and Carlos Edwards with a screamer, as he always did.
That'd be Whitehead captain then as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and it'd be Roy Keane manager. It was in our promotion season. So since then, we've had 9 further fixtures against them, with 4 losses and 5 draws, alternating each time of lost, draw, lost, draw, lost, draw. So you'll be all glad to know that the last time we played him, it was a draw. So you know what we're in for this time if the record's to carry on.
Well, I'm still not going to predict it.
Definitely not.
Now, they've not been on a bad run of form recently.
9 wins
Coventry.
in 11 is definitely not a bad run of form.
No, it's not. If we just talk back to back, the FA Cup, obviously, Ipswich smashed them in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And then Leeds before that. But since then, beating QPR, Sheffield Wednesday, Preston, who we've just struggled against, Oxford, Stoke.
And they lost to Derby.
Just lost to Derby, which is the first loss they've had since that FA Cup game.
But before that, before the Leeds game, they beat Swansea, they beat Watford, they beat Blackburn, they beat Bristol City. They drew with Sheffield Wednesday on FA Cup in penalty, but won on penalties, and then lost to Norwich in the second game in January. So they've been winning. They've been winning a lot.
Bad record against them historically. They're on a good winning streak, and it's away. It's
4-0 Sunderland. No, sorry.
I mean, who are their danger men? Who do you remember from the last game?
Well, I seem to remember Hadji Wright is always a threat for them up top. I think he's got, looking at this here, 7 goals. Only played 18 this season, so I don't know if he possibly is injured. You'll have to check for me if he's played recently. But Ellis Sims,
in the last game,
brilliant. So he's fit then. So Ellis Sims is also up there with them. 34 games, 6 goals. Victor Torp, 32 games, 6 goals as well. Rodoni, 5 goals. Thomas, 5 goals. Mason Clark, 5. So they've got a good amount of goals spread out amongst their team. Rodoni has got 10 assists as well for the season. Then you've got Sakamoto with 5 and Mason Clark with 5 as well, and Eccles with 3 as it goes down. I think Sims is probably the only former Sunderland player that I can spot in the lineup for them, looking back through it there. And we all know, he's a fairly decent striker. He's got a good finish on him.
Aerial threat as well, isn't he? He's got some
snapshots. I always think I remember him for just very quick finishes. And just didn't think about it a lot. Just put it in, but you gave him time to think, and it wasn't what you wanted to happen. Really, you wanted him to just be like, quick, bang, got it.
Yeah, one of our youngsters plays for them now as well. Ben Wilson was a youngster at Sunderland, and he's on their bench. So that's another ex-Sunderland. And he was on their bench in the last game, I believe, as well. They've got Jay De Silva, who's a threatening player all the time as well.
Not son of Pablo De Silva, who used to play for us back in 2010.
No relation. No
relation.
Frank Lampard's really got them firing on all cylinders. And he's one of the managers that was half tipped for us at one point when we were...
It's an interesting one because Mark Robbins did such a good job with Coventry and it just didn't seem to be going well this season at all. And you think last year he was a dodgy VAR decision away from taking them into an FA Cup final. He was a playoff final. Yeah.
It was this channel we interviewed the Coventry fan on because I remember it was just as the news broke that they'd fired him because that's one of the questions I pitched to him.
Right, yeah. I see.
So they just lost their manager when we got that 2-2 draw.
Yes, that I think just beforehand, and then they got the 2-2. Yes, you're right. Obviously, they got the playoff final the year before that as well. I think they lost to Luton because they beat Middlesbrough in the other semi while we lost to Luton as well. So they're always up and around the players. But yeah, it seemed to just fall off this season. But Lampard's come in and got them winning and got them scoring a lot of goals as well while they're doing it, which I'm not going to sit here and say, I'd have rather had Frank Lampard because I still don't really want him anywhere near us as a manager if that was ever an option, but I can't argue with his results though.
He's doing all right.
This level, Derby and Coventry, he does all right. It's just anywhere upwards of this, not so.
Well, you don't know if he manages to build his own team and then take them up, he might do all right.
Yeah.
But hopefully,
he actually did all right with Chelsea in the first year when they had no transfers allowed.
Hopefully not at the expense of us going up.
Yeah, hopefully not.
So, interesting one because we didn't do a review for Preston.
No, we stayed
on after the game for half an hour and just discussed it there. So I wanted to briefly touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
We started with 4-4-2.
Yes.
And I was like dancing.
Yeah, I remember getting the messages. Block capitals.
But
Mike Bassett, 4-4-2.
That's the one. And it worked. And then as soon as we decided to drop the 4-4-2, that's when they came at us and scored. So the question is, did it work enough to pull that into the next game? Or do you think we're going to go back to the standard for this next game?
I think we would. I mean, don't get me wrong, everything I've said so far with Labrie, he sort of still does a little change with it there. Like, I wouldn't have dropped Chelder for this game, for the last game, but he did.
No, I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't have started Watson over Mundle either.
Again, but we said that in the review that, like, surely you get Mundle more minutes and then take him off after a while and get Watson some minutes at the end, like, you know. But hey, ho, doesn't matter. I think he'll go back to the system that's been doing us this season with the one up top and the 3-man midfield. Maybe not the same combination of Neil, Bellingham, and Rigg, but I think for the better teams in this division, which we have to count Coventry as one of them, he's played that system in every one of them, and it's served us pretty well. Only 2 losses, a dodgy one against Sheffield United and a really annoying one against Leeds where we sat back. Apart from that, we haven't lost to anybody else on our sort of level. So I think that's what he would do. I think you've still got to persist with Mayenda as that one up top, though. I think.
I know, but he took Mayenda off in favour of Isidore when he did drop the 4-4-2, which was scary as well because he was the most threatening player on the pitch.
I don't know if he's in the back of his mind thinking that, what was it we said, we're 15 points inside the playoffs with 27 left to go. I know he said he was targeting 92 points for us, which would mean he has to get 23 out of 27, which is, I mean, fair play. It's good to have a target, but I don't think we're going to do it somehow. I mean, but we're safely in the playoffs, so I think he's just tinkering and he's resting people and he's just giving everybody a chance because I think he knows come end of April, because the season ends the first week of May, we're going to be on to something a bit bigger, and maybe he's giving them a rest, giving lots of people rotation to have that push when we need it in April, May time. I'm hoping. So we're not burnt out like the previous playoff campaigns.
But how bad does Dan Neil have to be before you tinker him out of the squad?
Yeah, that's probably down to captaincy and things like that, I'd imagine. And don't get me wrong, I know you were his biggest critic for the first half of the season, and probably
then he had a good spell.
So he had a very good spell, and it's only been the last two that he's been. I wasn't going to say shit. I wasn't going to say shit. I wasn't going to go that far.
I've got a list. Hang on.
I didn't watch the last game, so it might have been worse than I thought. But the previous one before that, I thought he's just had a poor game. I wouldn't have said anything, heinous about him.
I would. Heinous rhymes with heinous.
Yeah.
Tommy Watson starting over Mundle as well. That happened in the Preston game. It doesn't look like he's come back firing on all cylinders, and it looks like it's taken a while to find his feet. He shouldn't be starting for that fact, right? He should be the guy coming on from the bench.
Yeah, and that's what we said about it, that surely Mundle's about a couple of weeks ahead of him. You start Mundle and you give him, 60 minutes, and then you put on Watson for the bit at the end to sort of have a go at them, ease him into it rather than the other way around. But again, that's probably down to the rotation, that he sort of thinks, I'm protecting them both, giving Watson a few minutes and Mundle on at the end because I'm going to need them for the end of the season. And, I don't really want to talk much about the playoffs because I'm starting to get, that awful feeling you get with Sunderland that it's just not your year. But I think he's making sure, he's probably taken into account all the previous playoff campaigns we've had and thinking, I'm going to need the full team firing, rather than going, like when we had McGeady in League One and he just wasn't available for any of it. And you know what I mean? And we were sitting there going, he'd only bloody carried us the whole season and now we need him. He's not there.
But Leeds lost the last game. They're currently winning as we speak at the moment. We don't know the final result there. Mm-hmm. Sheffield drew their last game.
Yeah.
Burnley drew their last game. So we didn't gain any points. We didn't lose anything by thingy. So we're still 8 points away from an automatic promotion spot.
Yeah.
With 20-odd points to play for.
27.
There you go. It's still possible, right? I mean, Sheffield United's next game is the ultimate hiccup game. They've got a derby for their next game.
Also, they have to play Burnley again. I think a few of our live stream commenters were saying the other day, but I think they play the third last game of the season, which could be massive for sort of top two at that point. I mean, yeah, it's mathematically possible. I just don't see it happening, and it's not. I don't see the other teams. I think we slip up a bit too much, and we've done that all season. Times when we've, been in the lead in games, or even just when other teams have slipped up, we slip up too, or sometimes worse than they have. We just never seem to have had that week where we've gone, hey, get in. Everyone's lost, and we've smashed somebody, or we've just eked past as well.
But we've also not had the week where everyone's fit.
Yeah, well, we did for a while, but at that point we were top of the league.
No, but even when Lafille came in, what a signing he is. Mundle was out.
Yeah.
Mundle's come back, thank goodness, because Lafille's got out. It's just like,
he might get back after the international break, and of course that's right after this game. So we could start to see him back in there. But Ballard, I think they said was going to be a couple more weeks after that.
I'm not too fussed on Ballard. I think
I am. I thought he was doing really well. I thought he was doing really well when he was in.
Yeah, he does, but I still wouldn't rate him above Meppin.
No, but I think he was, when he came in that Leeds game and the one after Hull. I thought he was a good player as well. Really played well. Was it against Hull he got injured though? Yeah, he got injured blocking what would have been their second goal in the game, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
he sort of threw himself on the line for it.
It's been an interesting week for the table, definitely. So it's all to play for as far as I'm not writing us off.
No, I mean Coventry lost the other day and West Brom drew, so that kept them it was 15 points outside the playoffs. I think the teams inside the playoffs are
nobody
13.
Won in the top 7 yesterday. Yeah. Nobody won in the top 7.
Middlesbrough right now.
Middlesbrough won, who are 8th.
Yeah,
and after that, it was the 11th place that won.
Leeds are winning right now still, and Plymouth Argyle are beating Pompey.
Yeah, 2-0. Madness. But yeah, so right. How would you set up for this one then? Not how do you think he's going to set up, because we know that's impossible to predict at the moment. How would you set up for this one?
I'd like to see us go with 2 again and give it another go, and see if we can get Mayenda and Isidore playing together more consistently, getting used to each other. Even if within moments you tell Mayenda, right, drop in, tuck in as a number 10, just come back a bit, and then when we get the ball, you break forward with him. Just similar positions wise as the one, but you are technically up front as well. So when Isidore drops short, you go and things like that. But I genuinely get the feeling he'll revert back to 1. I'd love to see 2, and I really go for it, because what have we really got to lose at this point?
So we're going for your team here. So if you've got your 2 up front, who's your 4 in the middle? Who's the 4 midfielders?
Mundle, Bellingham, Neil, and Roberts, left to right.
Neil still gets in your team?
Yeah.
Shocking behaviour. I think Riggs done enough to see Bellingham and Rigg in the centre for me.
I don't know. I get the feeling that there's something not. When you say them, there just feels like there's something missing. And I know if Neil's had a bad game, but I still think he provides something that they don't.
Possibly. Yeah, mistakes.
No.
Fuck ups.
No, you're just being harsh. You're just being really harsh now.
When Riggs come on in the last 2 games, he's done well. He's played a lot
Rigg's better advanced, though. That's where I think
he's going stronger. So I think, for me, I'd drop Neil. What about you back 4?
I would probably put Hjelde back in for Sirkin, I would have thought. I think he's just not really been at it since his random arm injury. And although he did score an absolute worldie against Coventry earlier on in the season, if he fancies doing that again, then I'm all for it. I don't know if it's because he hasn't had anyone to sort of play up on the left-hand side with, and hopefully Mundle or Watson will give him that. And because that's what we were saying again, I know we mentioned it in the last video, the impact of having Bellingham just in that inside left role really protects Sirkin and the left back, as we've seen from his position. So you're sitting there going, just get on. You're good at this. Like, you're really good at bombing on and running. Do you remember in League One when he used to pick the ball up in left back and run the length of the pitch to get a cross in and stuff?
Yeah, there seems to be a confidence drop when they have these injuries.
You've still got it. You're still really good. And I remember seeing on Sky Sports when they were talking about Tuchel's potential in England call up in 2 years and 4 years. People were listing Dennis Sirkin, and it's like, yeah, I can understand why you're listing him as like a potential England left back, but I'm not seeing it since that injury.
No, this is the issue. And goalkeeper
arm injury. And you stick with Patterson for now.
Stick with Patterson. Moore doesn't get a
goal like against. It was a shot from the edge of the area. Could he have done any better with that one? Really, against Preston, I don't think it was.
No, I won't take anything away from the shot.
No.
So yeah,
he got away from Neil very easily though. But I think it was just turned and hit, didn't he?
We give people too much space. So the problems we've got, we give people way too much time on the ball, on the edge of our area, in shooting areas. No one else gives that to us.
No.
We're getting closed down instantly. We're not closing down quick enough. When we get it clear, we're not pushing out quick enough. And set pieces, as I always say, is an issue. So, predictions. Nobody predicted 1-1.
No.
No one predicted 1-1 in the last one. So the league table stands the same. Alex Dixon rocking the top with the whole of 2 correct predictions.
1 goal away and I'd have been 2-1, but Alan Dixon would have been on 3.
And the rest of us are all on 1, and Conrad's not even on the table.
No, I am not.
Doesn't please me at all.
No.
So, what's your prediction for this one?
I went first this last time. You go first this time.
Okay. I am going to go 1-0 Sunderland. I'm just going to eke it. Literally. Snatch and grab last minute.
Yeah. I'm just having a look at that record again, because record suggests we would lose if we're keeping the same rhythm, but I'm not going to go with that.
Results are not based on rhythm.
If we want to be serious about, like you said, those 8 points and closing down, we have to go there and try and win. If we're going and experimenting and getting ready for the playoffs, I probably think we'll go for a draw, and I could see it being like a 2-2. Are
you going to predict a Desmond?
Yeah, I'm going to predict a Desmond.
There we
Repeat
go.
of the previous game, Desmond.
There we go. 2-2 is Conrad's prediction. 1-0 my prediction.
At least I can't be out of it unless there's more than 4 goals, or 3 for one team. Like yours is done if Coventry score.
When we score 4 in the first half, we're both out. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. But when Coventry get 1, you'll be gutted.
Get your predictions below in this video. You can predict on the live commentary. There will be another live commentary for this game. Kickoffs at 3 o'clock on Saturday. You can join me from 2:45 on the channel all the way through the match. But get your predictions in here, or if you get them in early enough during the live stream, we'll count them as well. Doesn't cost anything to enter our league. Everyone who puts a prediction in is entered in. Correct score gets you 1 point, and that's about it. There's no other rules.
And there's some fab prizes to be had at the end of the season.
We don't know what they are yet.
No.
But we're going to put something together for you, so it's all good. Would you like to say goodbye to everyone, Conrad?
Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps us out. And yeah, get your predictions in. We'd be eager to see more than 9 people with 1 point. And I'd like to be on the board as well. So if anyone could give me some advice on getting these right. I was doing really well on Fan TV's one, and then we stopped doing it. I was winning that by a mile, but hey-ho. Not the second half of the season. Can't get anything.
Well, with predicting a draw, I hope you're wrong again, even if it's not just for the table's sake, for Sunderland's sake.
It'd be a great draw when all the other 3 teams lose.
Yeah, there you go. It's a point. It's a point in the right direction. From me, thanks very much. Can't say any more than that. Like, subscribe, share the content, share the channel, tell somebody else about the channel, and we'll see you all in a video.
Steal their phone, subscribe for them.
Stop telling people to steal.
Leeds are winning 2-0, so yeah, they've won.
Great. And we'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.